As of 12 p.m. today, we have confirmed an additional 287 cases in Singapore, the highest daily tally so far.
Good evening. You're watching a special edition of The Big Story. I'm Haryanto Diman, coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom. Just 2 days since the start of the circuit breaker measures, Singapore has seen its highest single-day spike of 287 cases today. This brings the total number of cases here to 1,910. Director of Medical Services, Associate Professor Kenneth Mark, provided the breakdown of these new cases.
We've seen 287 new cases confirmed and diagnosed to have COVID-19 infection. Of these 287 cases, 3 were imported cases, 219 were linked to clusters, 19 were linked to other cases, and 46 cases remained as yet unlinked. Many of these come from the S11 dormitory, and there's at least 160 cases from this particular dormitory. But the number does not reflect necessarily the number that were truly symptomatic. We've in fact started active case finding and are swab testing workers in the various blocks in the dormitory. And many of the cases that were test positive in this category were in fact workers who have very mild symptoms or were well.
The task force outlined 2 separate strategies that Singapore is adopting to manage the foreign worker dormitories clusters. First is to ensure effective management of the dormitories. MINDEF and the police force are working together with the Manpower Ministry as well as dorm operators to put in place proper management across the dorms. These include taking care of workers' well-being as well as basic necessities like cleanliness, hygiene and food, and ensuring safe distancing. The second strategy is to ensure effective public health measures. This means deploying medical posts in the dormitories and starting to test workers. Those who are infected will be isolated. For workers who are healthy and working in essential services, they will be moved to sites like vacant HDB blocks, Changi Exhibition Centre and floating hotels typically used for offshore accommodation. Senior Minister Teo Chee Hean will lead the strategy to contain the spread in dorms, said National Development Minister and co-chair of the task force, Lawrence Wong.
Essentially, we are sparing no effort to contain the spread of the virus in the foreign worker dormitories. We have a responsibility for these foreign workers who have come all the way here at considerable expense to make a living in Singapore. So we will do our part and we will do our very best to take care of them and ensure their safety and their well-being. Despite our best efforts at containing the situation, all of us have to be mentally prepared that the numbers in the foreign worker dormitories will continue to rise in the coming days and perhaps even in the coming week or so. This will happen before they start to stabilize. But we do have a comprehensive strategy and measures are in place, and the agencies are now working round the clock to execute and implement them.
For more on the COVID-19 updates in Singapore, do log on to straitstimes.com. For the full press conference, you can watch it on the Straits Times YouTube channel. Once again, I'm Haryanto Diman. Have a good long weekend. And as Health Minister Gan Kim Yong says, please stay home and observe the circuit breaker measures.
Next few days is going to be a long weekend. I appeal to everyone during this long weekend to stay at home. If you want to connect with your friends, your relatives, call them or have a virtual meetup with them over the internet or video calls. Each of us must take this circuit breaker measures seriously, because this is the only effective way for us to slow the transmission of the virus so that we can gradually stabilize the situation and reduce the number of cases daily. The health of all depends on each of us. If every one of us play our part, we will collectively be able to overcome this infection. Thank you.